Hey guys, welcome back. Surprise, surprise. Here, let me fix the camera a little bit. I'm back again, 2 nights in a row. I told you, I promised you another review coming quickly, and here it is. My last review was of a very, very bad movie called See No Evil, and I know some of you have seen that. If you haven't yet, please go watch that. But that tried to combine two things I loved in professional wrestling and horror movies. So I didn't have luck there, so I figured let's try it again. And I did cheat a little bit. I've seen this movie before, but I had to buy it again just to refresh my memory and give it an honest-to-goodness shot. This, as I promised you last night, is combining video games and horror, and we all know the reputation that they usually hold, what with Doom and the Resident Evil series and Silent Hill, and it's never really been a good thing. And that's not even with the horror genre, of course. There's the infamous Super Mario Brothers and Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, but we'll talk about those at another day. Tonight we're going to be talking about a movie that came out in 2006 that I had to get refreshed on. This is Stay Alive. And there's the box right there. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. If you saw this movie, you know already. If you haven't, watch out, because this movie is just bad. It's damn near worse, or as equally worse as what See No Evil was, and I just looked at the floor because that's where it's sitting. I refuse to even put it up with my collection, and I'm going to do the same with this movie. Stay Alive is a concept of a video game that when you play it, if you die in the game, you die in real life. That's actually pretty clever, and that's a unique story. They just did not have the means, or the actors, or anything to really back this movie up. This movie's, it's got Frankie Muniz in it, and it stars John Foster, some other girls, Samari Armstrong, and a couple other people, whatever. That's not important. Frankie Muniz in this movie is absolutely annoying. He is so freaking frustrating to see on the screen because he just really talks really fast and he thinks he's really being something else and blah 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 blah, and that's how he goes kind of the entire movie. They make him out to be this super geek, and he really just doesn't play it off very well at all. He wears this stupid visor. It's freaking bad. Anyway, we open on this one guy playing the game. It's an online game. There's no console, there's no discs, there's no nothing about it. It's just I guess he found it online and he started playing, and he died when he got pushed off a balcony and he got hung to death in the game. And so that's exactly how he died in real life. That's the other thing. When you die in the game, however it happened in the game is how it happens in life. So we watch this movie go on, and the movie can't figure out when it wants to take place, when it wants the game stuff to take place, if you will, or at least the merger of the two. Because sometimes the people will die, and then they live for, it seems like it's probably like a good 30 minutes, hour, you know, and then they die. But then we get to one part of the movie in particular where Frankie Muniz is trying to help out the main character, Hutch, and he's playing the video game while they're in the house that the video game's based on. He's trying to help out Hutch, and Hutch comes up to a point and he goes, okay, you know, I went up the stairs and the door above me, it's locked. I need something to get in. And Frankie Muniz's character sits there and he looks at the ground, he looks at the staircase, and he drops a crowbar. And he goes, hey, look at the staircase. And Hutch looks down at the staircase, and immediately there's a crowbar. And then not 5 minutes later, he gets to a door that he can't open, and Hutch goes, oh, I have the key. And he unlocks the door, and he steps right in the door. So does it take place right when the game is supposedly happening, or is it a delay? It never really focuses anything on that. The deaths aren't even really all that clever. One guy gets stabbed. The thing about it is, this game cheats. That's one thing I gotta really emphasize on this. The game is a cheating bastard, and the bitch of a final boss, Mary whatever, I don't even know, fucking cheats her ass off the whole game. One death occurs, guy is just walking in this thing, he dropped, the thing that stops all the bad things, it really, you know, yeah, you can shoot them, you can hit them, you can do whatever, but it's rose. A rose is what puts the stop on everything. Like, it just, something about the, I guess, the purity of the rose, I don't know. When you take a rose and throw it on the ground, or, you know, throw it out, it's supposed to stop all the evil stuff. So, I mean, the guy literally takes, and we see him put a rose on the ground, and he's just exploring down in this cave, and the woman just comes up, bum rushes him, bam, shoves a damn thing of scissors up his neck. So, did the rose stop her? What, did something else get the rose so she could do it? It never explained that. It never explained it at all. Not only that, we get another scene of this guy. He's a jackass character. You know, he's insensitive. He doesn't care about the previous living guys. The previous guys that died, I'm sorry. He doesn't give a shit. And he's playing the game by himself, because nobody, you know, they were playing all together, but then they figured out what was going on. So he continued on by himself, and he hears a horse and buggy coming. He pauses the game. So he pauses the game, he doesn't go back and play it, like, ever. And then he's driving down this road in the middle of nowhere, or it seems like it's the middle of nowhere, I guess. And out of nowhere, he looks down for a second, looks back up, and there's a kid in front of him. So he swerves out of the way, almost crashes, and gets out of the car, and there's nothing there. So, the car is fine. He never hit a tree, he never did anything. I don't know why he doesn't just get back in the car and drive. But he gets on his cell phone, calls up Hutch and the rest of the gang, and says, hey, you know, it's after me, the game is coming, but I didn't play it, I promise, you know. And they're like, well, you didn't die in the game, right? And he's like, nah, I didn't die in the game. The horse and buggy comes out of nowhere, runs him over. And I mean out of nowhere. It's not like it got a head full of steam and boom, like that. No, he just is on the phone, shuts it off, turns, bam. It's like it was going full fucking speed from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat, and just runs and crushes him. He never played the game. So again, that kind of makes you question, okay, so if you don't have to be playing the game in order for the game to kill you, is the game playing itself? Well, yes, that's what they say. Okay, well, if the game can play itself, what happens when you cut it off? It's still playing itself. Okay, so what about saving? We watch these people who play the game, and they say, you know, and this is the whole group, before all the, you know, really bad stuff happening, and they're playing, and they get to a point where the guy with the scissors in his neck gets killed, and they say, alright, well, you know, you died, but it's kind of getting late anyway, so we'll call it a night. And they call it a night, and that's it. Like, nothing else happens. It's assumed, I guess, that they saved the game and they cut it off. But why doesn't the game keep playing? Why doesn't it keep going from there? It only really starts acting back up again when the jackass guy starts playing and he gets ran over. And then... excuse me, I told you I'm still sick. And then when Frankie Muniz, he says he's the decoy, and he starts trying to lure it off and everything. This other girl, October, goth chick, sister of the jackass character, actually, she never played the game again, as far as I saw. She never once played the game again. She steps outside one afternoon, for some reason, to do a smoke break, and And wouldn't you, if you were gonna go take a smoke, like you step out on the back porch, on a balcony, in the front yard, maybe to the road, it's like as far as you go, smoke it up, and go back in. Well, goddamn, she fucking like walked the fucking block and just left, pretty much. Ends up at an abandoned house where there's nobody there. She turns and sees something move. And she says, you know what? I got this. Pretty much. I mean, she doesn't actually physically say that, but she pretty much throws a cigarette down and goes, I got this. And goes in the house. No fucking reason. No point. I don't know why she thought she could do it. She goes in the house, and sure enough, the woman, the woman, Mary in red, whatever, is fucking in there, and she kills her. But how? She never played the game again. She never played the game again. Nobody else was playing her character. It's never really explained how the game keeps progressing without anyone actually being involved. Excuse me. And she was never in any danger. They all saved. And you know, Hutch was in the same situation, as was the other chick, the blonde girl. You know, and so was Frankie Muniz. They were the four that kind of lasted the longest. And out of the four of them, October wound up getting killed for no reason. Whereas Hutch, the blonde chick, and Frankie, you know, had never really played the game since, and they died. I mean, they didn't die. They never had any fucking problem. So what is it, just convenience? Is it just movie convenience, or what? Why couldn't everything be happening to them all at the same time, since they all played the game at the same time? Am I right? It's stupid. They brought in cops that suspected Hutch of being the killer because he was the connection between them, and one of them, stupid, dumbly, like, he logs into the game, makes a character like that, you know, and out of nowhere is like in the game. You know, they don't even like show him starting at the beginning. No, he's just like in the house out of nowhere, and gets caught and gets sat in a chair, gets locked in a chair, these things in his mouth rip his head open, and then he dies the same way. I mean, it's very weird, and they never go back to that. They never come back to the black cop guy, because it's the black cop and the white cop was the asshole who died, and they never come back on what the black cop thought, or him trying to come and help the investigation, or, you know, keep the investigation up, or help them in any way. It never happened. It was so weird. They just dropped it. It's a bad movie, guys. I mean, I just don't... I'm going over all the major plots, and there's not really any major plots. This movie sucks. It's not scary. It relies way too heavily on jump scares. That's all the movie is. When it comes to the scary part, it's just a jump scare. It's just loud screeching orchestra stings accompanied by some quick image that appears on the screen for a split second, or somebody finally gets fucking killed. You know, they don't explain how she got into... They do. The guy created the game. He wanted to make it realistic, but that really kind of never even still makes any sense as to how her spirit got into the game. I don't know. It's they say it's something about, like, when you read the opening credit of the thing, that's what unleashes it, but I don't know. Whatever. All in all, this movie, for what it is, it's not entertaining, it's not enjoyable, it's not scary. It is original, I give it that credit, but out of everything with stupid plot holes and just very poor acting at that, I can't help but give Stay Alive a 1 out of 10. Yeah, it's worse than See No Evil. At least See No Evil is you know, you get some cool deaths. Here, you don't really. I mean, it's just your standard, typical kind of. I mean, like any serial killer could have done this. Could have been in the house and killed the guy by strangling, you know, pushing him off the thing, and he gets strangled. Anybody could have been in that apartment, or in the building, and killed the guy with the scissors. You know, it's not good at all. Whatever. I give it a 1 out of 10. Anyway, that was Stay Alive. Very bad. I want to thank you for joining me tonight on the Late Late Review. This has been Lonnie, and as always, it's better late than never. Thanks, guys.